We roll, we rage, and we rarely check for traps. We are Raging Rolls.
Good evening, Twitch followers. So welcome to Rolls, and Dragons. So this is our RR&D session, which is a bit of a learning D&D session, but also a session for us to sort of work through how to do a bit of extra role-playing and also how to do some, game mechanics and work through it. So without further ado, we have four fantastic people that have decided to take on this challenge. They're all new to our Raging Rolls team. So we've got Anish, we've got Azar, we've got Sam, and we have Paul. So all been kind enough to take the time to jump on and play around with us tonight and have a bit of fun. So what we will ask is, if you are watching, please comment in our stream chat with any sort of tips and tricks of these guys, anything you've learnt with playing D&D that you find quite useful. So what I think we'll do, go around the group quickly, and if you guys can just let us know what you've played before, if you've created characters before, and if you have, what they are or what they've been, and if there's any race that you would love to play or find really difficult. So let's go, Paul. Let's start off with you. So what's your experience with D&D? Have you built characters? Let us know a little bit about your background with D&D.
Yeah, certainly. So with D&D, I would say I played a lot of casual D&D sessions. A lot of one-shots, I have to say. I'd say one of my favorite characters to play would be as a sorcerer. The one that I liked was the Shadow Sorcerer, which was a lot of fun to play with. And I've also played as a bard as well. And I find playing as a spellcaster was a lot of fun, I'd say.
Oh yeah, see, I come from the opposite world. I'm a big fighter barbarian person, so being into spellcasting was a whole new world. So what about you, Daz? What's your experience here?
Okay. Haven't played D&D for 35 years.
Nice.
So how old I am. At the time, it was, of course, basically the original rules. So it didn't have a wider variety of characters. So reading through the current list of characters available, I've always been a person who likes, when I play games like Diablo, and that's always the warrior or the barbarian. So I'd be going towards a Goliath.
Yep, good choice.
So yeah, I'm just old.
Sweet. Yeah, mate, there's nothing wrong with the Goliath. I'm a big fan of the Goliath, to the point where I've tried to match it with being a rogue as well. So the biggest guy to be the most stealthy. Still haven't pulled that out yet in a game, but you never know. Yeah. It may happen in this new campaign coming shortly. So Sam, what about you? What's your skill set with D&D?
I started playing kind of about 4 or 5 months ago.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Since then, I have played one session of a campaign as a rogue, and then I did a full campaign as a monk, and then one of my current campaigns I'm a paladin, and the other one I am a sorcerer. And yeah.
Wow, so you really did jump in the deep end with the monk. That is a really tough character to start off on.
Yeah.
That's a lot of dice rolling and a lot of math. So Anish, what about you? What's your D&D experience?
I haven't played D&D yet. I've sort of done a bit of reading on it, but I never played. I've sort of played Theatre of the Mind, stuff like superhero RPGs, CSI RPGs, things like that, but never D&D. So yeah, so this is my first time.
Yeah, awesome. Well, we'll that's the beauty of this. Everyone, when I first started, it was with a couple of the guys from the Raging Rolls up at one of the gaming shops, and literally walking in with a notepad and having played it. Now 37, last time was probably at the age of 10, so 27 years the difference. It's like, oh, this is going to be a whole new world, and you catch on. It's a steep learning curve, but you catch on really quickly, and then you get hooked, and you have about 300 characters built in D&D Beyond, and before you know it, you are struggling to work out. You have every unearthed arcana, you have every book, and you're trying to work out the ultimate mix in the middle. So
I
what
have
we're
no
going to do?
books. I have no books,
Yeah.
and when I counted I think a week and a half ago, I had over 1,500 characters built,
Jeez, and that's the
and almost no campaign.
yeah, and that's the thing. That's the beauty. Like with D&D Beyond, particularly, you can just go and you can at least store 6 characters, but you can just keep rolling options. What if I did a barbarian, that was also half sorcerer, or what if I did a rogue that also wanted to be a cleric, and you can just go with these wicked options, and that's the beauty of it. And then it allows you to build from it. So probably what we've done before on Raging Rolls is we've commented a few times on how to build a character and where our character creations come from. So a lot of the time we talk about finding, not just creating characters as fun of it, but having a character from somewhere. So I played Beowulf on our Waterdeep campaign, and you basically can see that this is a bogan version of me. So if I could just go full bogan, footy shorts, precious real drinking, really everything my wife would despise of me, just do all that, it would be awesome. And so I've kind of built this character around it. So what I have found as well with D&D is that the RP stuff seems to fall away because of people get so worried about the dice rolling, so worried about the math they've got to do, and they get so stuck up on what is my stat block going to be and are my stats right and how it does. So there is this great podcast called Dragon Talk that had Maud Garrett, Peter Garrett's daughter, on, who's a big D&D fan, and she has this great little way of starting out an RP and getting people into D&D that doesn't involve any real dice rolling but a D20. So what I thought we'll do is we'll give this a go, because I quite enjoy it, and I did it with a couple of the guys before. It's a way to start you thinking about your characters. So it's going to get you building a character and show you how easy it is to do it. Just start to get that role-playing part of you. So let's dive into it. So what I'll do, you can either roll 20 if you know how to do it, or you can roll dice if you've got them in front of you. If you can all roll me let's go a niche. If you can roll me a D6, which is a 6-sided dice, first, and let me know what number you come up with. The other guys, you can roll your dice too, and then when I throw to you, you can tell me what your...
I've come up with 3.
3. All right, you are going to, your new character's race is going to be an elf. So you are of the magical world, you're otherworldly, and you're living in part of the world that's not really quite there. Incredibly dexterous, keen sense, and you're in this high ethereal. So if you have a D12 as well, oops, someone's killing us with some audio. Yeah, if you've got a 12-sided dice as well, roll me in that and see what you're going to come up with. Is that a 2? Sorry.
2, yeah.
2, cool. So you're going to be a bard. So you are an inspiring magician who's, power echoes the music of creation. So your whole world is singing, dancing, throw a coin to your Witcher kind of stuff there. So start having a think about you being an elf bard, and we'll come back to you in a minute. So Dazza, same thing. You want to roll me a D6 and then a D12?
No. I don't know how to use roll 20 to roll dice.
Have you got roll 20 open?
Yes, I have.
Okay, so on the left-hand side of 20, if you've got the page open that we gave you, there is and I'm just opening it, just had it open earlier. There is a little, the second last one from the bottom. There's looks like a little D20.
Where's this, sorry?
On the left-hand side, if you open the page, you should be able to see you'll have to go into. So are you inside? Are you just in the Roll20 page, or can you see an actual map with a ship on it?
Just in the Roll20 page itself. I haven't gone into any game or anything.
Oh, okay. So you're able to open that link that I sent last time.
Oh, was there a Roll20 link? Was there?
There was a Roll20 link, but I can read it to you if you want. No stress in that. Nisha's in there. That's great. Just share it with you.
Okay.
Do we turn on our mics and camera in Roll20 as well?
You can just disable that. If you go to the settings on the right hand side, you just turn it off. I tend not to use that. It's usable by all means, but we've just found better luck with Discord and Skype and that sort of stuff. So I've put it in the D&D chat for you. Just posted it in there, so you should be able to access to that now. I'll let you go through that.
Yes.
Jump out if you've got any questions.
Okay.
So let me know when you've opened it up. We'll go from there when
Sure.
you launch game. And then, so Sam, what about you? Just an old school. Love it. Oof.
3 on the D6 and 4 on the D12.
So 4 on the D12 and 2 on the D6? 3 on the D6. So 3 again is going to be this time a halfling. So you're a half-sized character, lives in a world of larger creatures, but you are incredibly brave, nimble, dexterous, and then you set a 4, I believe, so we'll make you a druid. So you're a halfling druid, so you're a priest of the faith, wielding powers of nature. So, Drew, sorry, Paul, sorry.
Okay.
Your turn.
So roll a d6, was it?
Yeah, roll a d6 for me.
Sure. Go 6.
Ooh, very nice. So you're going to be a half orc and d12.
D12. Oh wow, 12.
Oh, a 6 and a 12. So you're going to be a half orc sorcerer.
Ooh, very nice.
Oh, I see your rolls popping in there. So Dazza, how did you go? Did you work out?
No, I'm still bamboozled.
Who's on that front page? Okay, that's cool. Now we can walk you through it. So were you able to click on that link that
No, I
I
didn't.
sent you?
Where did you send it to?
Oh, through Discord in the D&D chat.
Okay. Okie doke.
Cool.
Okay, I think I'm there. So what do we want?
Excellent. All right, a D6. What's the game? Wicked. So for those that are new to D&D, Roll20 is one of the platforms that you can use. There's also Fantasy Grounds and Foundry, VTT. But this seems to be the most common, which is and most easily used. So you've got a 3 to start. I love it. A 3 will make you a half elf, and your next roll, which is a D12. Or a 1, a nat 1. So normally that would be terrible in a game, but this, you're okay because it's only looking out. We're going to make you a fighter.
Okay.
So you're a master of combat, skilled with weapons and that sort of thing. So you guys have all got your characters. So what we're going to do now is just think of names. So as soon as I go around, I just want you to sort of think about whatever sort of pops into your head in terms of the name. So Paul, what's the name of your character?
So the name of my character, I would say Boris. I think that's a really good half orc kind of name.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that would be good.
Cool. So Oris a, you know, tell me a bit about Oris. Has he come from royalty? Is he, you know, hard luck kind of guy? Tell me a bit about Oris.
Boris, yeah, I would imagine that being a half orc, he's trying to, you know, get away from the whole stereotypes of half orcs being really tough and always fighting headfirst into battle. So I imagine him trying to dive into more sorcery and trying to different himself from the other half orcs. That's what I imagine. Yeah.
Yeah, cool. And what would be his like number one skill? What makes him the number one half orc sorcerer? Like, what is that really cool thing that he can do that no one else can really?
That's a good question. I would say, I guess the fact that like it's very rare for half orcs to really possess sorcery powers in the first place. It would be, I would say, very rare for anyone to possess. I would say, especially a half orc. I would imagine.
Okay, so he can't be possessed is his thing. He's just, you know,
I'm not possessed, but like, yeah.
Okay. So what would be his sort of like the opposite to that brightness? What would be his like one thing that just is like his kryptonite effectively?
I would say his kryptonite effect is probably I would say it's probably be. I would say maybe he can't swim. I think that'd be a very strange trait for a half orc not being able to swim.
Nice. I
Doesn't like
like
the water at all.
I like it. So Nish, tell me about your character. What's the name? What have we got? What came to your mind?
Ooh, so I'm thinking something like a wood elf. So the name would be Twinkle Highleaf.
Twinkle Highleaf. Look at you going, Nish.
So
Tell me about little Twinkle Highleaf here.
he's probably the type of elf that you're walking along a path and you see him sitting on a high branch just fiddling with his lute or just blowing the flute. And being an elf, he's probably stealthy and agile. I haven't thought about his superpower or his kryptonite actually.
Well, let's think. Like if he's, you know, what is something you say sitting there? He's quite good with the lute and flutes and, you know, musical abilities. So I'd say it's probably something around that. So what do you?
He could. I'd say he could. He's very easy to trust. I'd say the way he is, his demeanor, like you trust him.
Okay, so he's very trustworthy, very persuasive. That's like his skill. He just has this high charisma.
I think he'd be persuasive more than trustworthy. He's just the way he's. You look at him and you sort of feel like trusting him.
Okay, awesome. And what would you say is the common flaw? What is that one that's just like, you know, we've got the half orc here who can't swim, and water is going to be a big trouble for that half orc.
Probably. He'd probably, let's see. Okay, he'd probably walk up to the strongest guy in a fight and start singing at him, sort of like. Just.
So he just tries his weaknesses. Everything has got to be solved by song.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter whether
Or he just go right up
too
to the
big.
guy's face and start just being melodious, you know, just being
Yeah,
annoying. So
like a melodic little man syndrome. This is fantastic. So Daz, what about you, mate? What's your character's name?
Well, I thought of straight off the top, Chiron.
Chiron, cool.
So,
Tell me about Chiron.
if it was, he'd be strong and not stealthy, but strong and proud.
Okay.
But he'd always be trying. Be a real go-getter. Always,
Okay, so
trying.
Does Chiron come from? So I was going to say, does Chiron come from a wealthy background, or is he more of like a freelance vigilante style fighter? That's
more of an everyday sort of character. No pretenses, but I think his downfall would be his vanity. Going against everything I am, I'd probably have him be really vain. So if he passed by a mirror, he'd be the one looking in the mirror, checking out himself.
Okay.
But yeah.
Great. And last but by no means least in this party, Sam, tell me about your character.
Yes, so my character is the halfling druid, Brennison Quickerclack.
Love it.
He is a kleptomaniac who loves
Right.
everything that is natural, but he has absolutely no sense of direction.
Very cool. So where did this kleptomania come from? Because we have a character named Randy. Now, that seems to be a kleptomaniac as well. So I'd be very interested to know where your kleptomania came from.
Yeah, just from growing up and having everything. People try and take stuff off Brennison, but those people soon find out that they take stuff, they lose stuff as well.
Awesome. So it's sort of this like a need to fight back.
Yeah.
Would you say that's her greatest strength or the greatest weakness?
I'm going to say strength.
So what's the downfall? What's this great weakness? We've got an incredibly vain warrior. We've got
No sense of direction.
no sense of direction. You did say that and apologise. So yes, that no sense of direction. So I hope we do not lead our party. It's going to be a bit of fun for you guys. So what we're going to do now is we're going to play a little bit of a role-playing game. So what you do, talking you through some scenarios, and the way it's going to work out is I'll get you guys just to roll a d20. What'll happen is when you roll d20, if you get a 1, or what we call a nat 1, something bad will happen to you, and pretty much probably something will happen bad to the party. It's not going to end great. If you roll anywhere from above a nat 1 to sort of 5, maybe 6, it won't go well for your party. If you try and cast something, you won't cast, and so on. If you get from about a 6 to a 10, it still won't cast, but it won't have as bad of an effect. Anything above a 10, it'll work for you, it'll pay off. The higher you roll, obviously closer to 20, the better it'll be. If you get a nat 20, you'll obviously be able to do the feat you chose to do, but with a little extra bonus, a little bit of a cherry on top. So in this, there's no limitations on movement, limitations on what you can do in the feat. So what we're going to do is just play around with, sort of how it all works out. So see if you just seeing your roll 20s, so that's great. So as a party, you are walking through a very heavily wooded forest. And as you walk deeper and deeper into it, you notice that light is starting to diminish greatly. It's just, the step you take seems to almost reduce by 10, 20, 30%. Then as you all stop, you notice this small shimmering light breaking through the tree line. What do you guys do? It's up to you guys now. As a party, what do you want to do?
Who's the biggest guy in the team? Sorry.
So it'd probably be Daz.
Yeah, it would be. Yeah. Okay. Well,
So I basically look at Dez and give him a slap on the shoulder and
get in there.
go for it, mate.
All right, I'll approach the light.
Okay, so as you approach the light,
With a trusty dog as well.
yes, with your little trusty sidekick, start to feel the ground get colder and colder and colder. You start to notice that on your feet, it's starting to be snow. You feel an incredible, intense cold come on you. You want to do? You want to do anything, or you want to continue to walk?
Are the others following me? Or am I going by myself?
I'll follow behind you.
Yeah.
I'll be the second last guy in the party.
All right, I'll keep forging ahead. Trusting in myself.
As you forge ahead, you noticed this beautiful big pirate ship sitting amongst forest, very confused as to what it is here. You start to notice them crawling on the outside of it, slowly disappearing as they sort of see you walk past, walking into frame. You notice one standing there, what looks like a bow drawn, pointed at you. What would you like to do?
It only looks like a bow drawn towards me. And I'm in the front, so I think I'd look for cover. Although we're in a snow area.
Yeah. So roll a d20 whilst you attempt to make your dive for cover.
So roll it now.
Yep, roll it now. We'll see what it comes up with. 14. So you successfully managed to pick up. You notice that you see this archer, and boom, you're off the path. You've been a fighter, quite experienced in this, being from the streets and being from the the common folk. You're quick and you know how to use the nature around you. So you just out the rest of the party. As soon as you dive off, you hear this arrow comes hurtling towards the rest of the party. What do the rest of you want to do?
I would say I would cast shield and hope that would protect us.
All right, roll me that d20. Oh, huge 19. Boom, the shield blows up from you. The arrow flies off. Suddenly you look up. You see 2 more archers have appeared next, so it's 3 standing on the top. Or draw again. What do you guys want to do?
I want to try and dodge the arrows as they come
Okay,
towards.
3 arrows. 3 flying in. Roll me that d20. Oh, not great. 5. As you attempt to show off to the party and how talented you are at dodging, you jump up with a nice big pirouette. Take 3 to the body. Wham! Landing into the snow. Able to move at the moment. You're not dead, but you're in a serious amount of pain.
Got a little bit distracted by seeing the giant wooden boat.
Yes.
It's all natural.
It's all natural.
Yeah.
So, you see one of your party members lying there with arrows in him. You leave him, or do you want to leave him pursuit of the boat, or do you want to look up, try and bring him back to life? He's not
Is
dead.
the arrow still being fired?
They're being fired at you as you make your way towards the boat.
I'm gonna drag the my party member and try to drag him like to cover. So I'm gonna try to pull him like from danger.
Cool. So I'll let you do that great roll before you grab him, you pull him, boom, out of harm's way. You guys want to attack boat, or do you want to continue and see if you can bring your friend back to life, or back to some sort of health?
Well, what I want to do is I want to just put my hands up, put out the biggest smile that I can, and sort of start walking towards the archer, just singing a very friendly song, saying, "Don't shoot, don't shoot. We mean you no harm. Let's be friends and dance around arm in arm," something like that.
I'd love you to sing us bars of this song. I'm very intrigued to hear what it sounds like.
Sorry?
I'd love you to sing a little bit for us.
Let's see. Hello, oh fellow warrior. We mean you no harm. Do not aim your arrow at us. Let's talk arm in arm.
Oh, very nice. Well played. So I'll give you a chance to roll D20 with what we call advantage. So this means if you're not happy with the first roll, you can roll it again to see what the highest, and you can take your highest of the two rolls. So let's see how you go. Roll it up and see. Is Song do it, or is he going to take an arrow to the face? Ooh, 10. You get another chance to roll another one. So we'll take 10. Thankfully, 10 is a pass for you. So
Awesome.
as you do your worst, what you think is this beautiful lyrical song ballad, all these guys here is this half-baked wannabe rap, that is just you're out of tune, just terribly doing it. They are sorry and confused at the same time that they lower their arrows and watch as you walk towards the ship, begin to approach it slowly. So we're going to leave it there for the moment for this sort of portion of the game, because what I wanted to sort of stop and see is just to show how with role-playing, this is something that if you take all the stress of dice out of it and everything like that with only putting one dice, you can kind of get into the fun of it. And a lot of DMs will love you for that, like trying things like trying to sing them down and sing archers to stop, or I have done this myself, use other party members to try and use them and throw them into traps to try and unlock them. The more fun and more creative you can get away from the dice rolling so much, the more chance a DM will give you to do it. And I know we play with two great DMs that will do exactly that. So within reason, you can think more of like, what would my character do? Not what's going to get me the best dice roll. The cooler and more fun this game actually becomes. So, you'll get from there. So, how did everyone find? Did you just kind of get the vibe of it? Did you want to keep going with it to play a bit more, or did you want to get building a character and actually playing properly?
Probably build a character and probably start playing properly, perhaps. But it's up to everyone. I'm pretty happy with just role playing, going along with everyone.
Cool. All right, so there's a couple of ways we can, creating a character. So this is where the fun sort of begins. So a couple of ways you can create a character. So what we have done before is you can create them in Beyond. You can also create them in Roll20. If you create them in D&D Beyond, there's a great little Google Chrome macro called
Beyond 20.
Yep, Beyond 20 is fantastic. So it allows you to click anything in your D&D Beyond character sheet and bring it to life. So it allows you to roll it in a Roll20 game. So what I think we'll do for the sake of this, though, to make life easy, is I have built you guys some character sheets in Roll20. So what we'll do is we will build a character, and we'll go through it together, working through how to build, what to look for, and then how to sort of roll up these stats and all that sort of stuff, just so you can get the idea of what you have to do and how you have to go through it, and it's the fun that can be had. Now, I'm going to suggest you stick to the character here we create as something with the more simple, standard characters, rather than just wait for Daz to come back online. But yeah, I'd say stick to the standard stuff. Unless you have paid for all the other stuff and you've got it, by all means go for it. But particularly in Roll20, it makes it so much easier to have it as the basic stuff. So how many of you, I'm going to say probably Paul and Sam, have created characters in Roll20 before?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I have...
That's true.
Cool. You guys should be able to see where the characters are there, with your name on it, except Paul, because I didn't name yours. So what I want you to do is spend a bit of time going through creating a character, and I'll talk Daz through how to do it when he comes in, and initially talk you through it too, because I know you probably haven't done it before. We'll talk about, how to roll, and then when we get to stat blocking, a couple of ways you can do it depending on how you want to do it. Whether you want to run the D6 or 4d6 and take away the lowest. If you want to be really clever and specialize and roll a d20 per one, and then being reluctantly having to either take the 20 or the 1 you end up with. So, Anish, what I'm talking about here is each character has a series of stats, from your strength to your dexterity, all the way down the left-hand side of the character sheet. Then that makes up how strong, how fast, how tough, how smart your character is. So normally when you play, you are given 4d6 and you roll, and then you take away one, and then you add them together. So if you rolled a 6, a 4, a 5, and a 3, you add up the 6, the 4, and the 5 together, giving you a total of 15. And that would be one of your stats. You then, do that, and then pick and choose where they want to go. So you get to understanding it. Then, like I said before, the other fun way to do it is to, and everyone's got a different name for it, specialized, suicide dice, crazy dice, whatever you want. Basically, you take a d20, see what happens, because those stats on the left-hand side max out at 20. So you can either get the maximum straight off, so you could be the strongest barbarian or the strongest fighter or the most charismatic barb. You rolled a 20, but you could also be the weakest in the block by rolling a 1 and having very baby-like stats, which could make life very hard for you. So I will catch Daz up when he joins back in, but what you should be able to... Oh, you can, sorry, your video is just loading in. Apologies on that, mate. So when you guys open up, have Roll20 open, you'll see up the top you've got a chat icon, then a little one that looks like pictures. They call it the art library. I'll go through what these all mean later. Try that now, see if that worked. Did it pop in now?
Yes, got it now.
That's my bad. So this is the fun of Roll20. You have to make sure that it's in everybody's. Paul, yours should be in there now.
Oh yeah, I see it now. Yep.
Yep. What I haven't done is just activated everyone's journal. Darren, yours will be there in 3, 2, 1. Yep. Sam, yours should be there as well.
Yeah.
Cool. So what I want you guys to do is you click on your name, and it'll pop up with a bio and info. Then you'll see character sheet as the next tab along.
Mm-hmm.
So you click that, and then it says here, how do you want to create this character? So you can use the Character Mancer, which is a really good tool. So it allows you to pick your race, your class, and then go from there, and it will help you and prompt you of what you need to add and choose and go from there. I highly suggest we use that. So if everyone wants to click on use the character mentor. So this says here just a bit of welcome. Next, then start going through it here. So everyone should be able to see you drop down when you get to it about choosing your race. Yell out if you can't see anything. So I'll let you guys work through that for the moment. Please yell out if there's any questions. If you can't find your character should be on there because I've just picked you, Now you can either choose the character I just gave you and try and build that stat, or if you want to try something else, I'm open to you building your own character. But let's, think of the stuff we did in the session before about thinking about what you want your character to be and where they come from. For those following on Twitch, is our lovely people, intently trigger away and watch and watch and watch. Please don't forget to subscribe, because when we hit 75 followers, we are going to have a massive giveaway. So as you can see for the Twitch followers on screen, we are looking at Flint Blackwood's character sheet. So this was created in Roll20. It was for a Cleric Tempest Domain Dwarf. So what Jeremy, our stream master, has done is gone through and selected all the personality traits and all the skill sets and everything that line up with what he was hoping that character to be. Obviously, it's got all the weaponry there. And as I was talking about before, on the left-hand side, got the rolls that Jez made. So a 16, he's put that to his strength. 11, 17, 12, 17, 11. So he's rolled quite well with stats. And as I said before, if you rolled, low, then they would be lower or higher. But you can also do it with a D20. So the big number above it, and I'll explain to the guys as well what that is shortly, that's your modifier. So there's a lot of math behind, once you break 10 and get above 12, it goes up and down in certain things, but it's just one of those things that it's like, it allows you to build that character. And don't worry when you get to I was just about to say that, and wow, Twitch Rager is killing it with me too. So don't be concerned if you don't roll high stats, because that can actually create a really fun character. If you roll a barbarian built on strength that rolls really low, you basically have built Captain Feathersword. So it could be a whole lot of fun to play Captain Feathersword and play around in that sense. We do have one of our Ragers who, when we very first started playing, when we were learning, was rolling to hit. We were sitting in the pub drinking beers and playing D&D, and he couldn't hit anything. So he got nicknamed, Captain Feathersword, because all he rolled was nat ones pretty much the whole time. So it's a great piece of, playing around. So how, future Ragers, how are we going with our character sheets? How are you going?
There. Yep.
Yeah,
All making sense? It makes sense, right? It's pretty straightforward. You follow it through when you go to your class, and it's quite a nice little thing. Now this is there we go. We've got our first stat roll out there.
Going to try a stat roll, let's see.
Here he goes, 4d6. So like we said, you can either you got 2 6s, which is great, and you obviously take a 2. Now when you do this normally, some people, there is a macro you can run in Roll20 if you want it to roll it all for you, but I kind of like doing it myself. But if you roll a 1, a lot of times DMs will get you to re-roll, if you'd like. You can just take it as in, so a niche, 16, a 12, a 15, but you've obviously got to eliminate the lowest one.
Oh, I still can't see my roll. Actually, I think I've hidden my.
No, it'll be in click on the little chat, the speech icon at the top of Roll20. That's the first little tab across up the top.
Got it. Yeah. Got it.
Yeah. So add up the 3 highest and take away the. So if we'll put it into the chat quickly for you too, into Roll20. You can copy and paste. I've just put mine in, and that gives me all my stats. So as you can see here, I rolled a 12, a 14, a 10, a 9, a 16, and a 6. So I have rolled a terrible stat. So what I'll do, put the code into the chat for you if you want to have a go at that as well. It's up to you. Just don't copy the first exclamation point in it because it didn't come through. But that's all good. But I can send it through. So one thing I want to mention that we've found great with playing D&D whilst these guys do it, if it's given us a chance to connect as a team. One of the things we do at Raging Rolls is we are big supporters of Beyond Blue. So please, if you guys are struggling, with like if you're based in Melbourne, at the moment life is hard. So if you are struggling at all, please feel free to reach out to any of us here, or please ring Beyond Blue. We are big supporters of mental health, particularly in Raging Rolls. So we are really conscious of people that might be going through hard times, as we find this is a great game to help you work out some of your issues. But if you do need help, please give Beyond Blue a call, or visit them at beyondblue.org.au. So anyone up to their, start talking about what they've got to so far with their character. Anybody want to divulge a bit of information for our lovely watchers? Give them a little sneak peek as to what we've created. Anyone deviated from their original character, or have they been brand new?
My thought process was this is hard because it's not actually immediately accessible, but a Juragar Barbarian.
Ah, yeah. Go on.
Yeah.
So, thinking you Juragar with the chance to enlarge, I'm gathering. So you're going to be a barbarian. Yep.
Yeah. So a Juragar Barbarian who grew up with numerous body image issues and has developed a hatred for children because he was bullied, and was kicked out of his home village because he was aggressive.
Fantastic.
And he couldn't swim, and he learnt to swim by someone who saved his life.
That's a fantastic, little backstory and idea. And you'll find when you start to play more and more campaigns, having that behind you is a really good motivator and something to actually push yourself along, to keep going. And you'll find that a lot of DMs knowing that will play into that to help you really, embellish out the story and go from there. What about you, Daz? How you going? You still smashing through it and getting it?
Still getting there, yep. Slowly but surely.
Right. Yeah. It does take a bit. I find D&D Beyond a good platform for this because you can do it, wherever and ever. And then when you use the Beyond 20 app, it's right there ready to go. So let's see if we can. Yeah, so look, we've said this a couple of times before. Don't be worried if you roll terrible on your ability scores, because it is something really fun about playing a really, cool character in your RP. And you will find after a while that whilst you have a character that you want to play in terms of class and race, it's normally built off something in your head that you've created. So it starts to become a really fun way of putting stuff together. So, Sam, you've created 1,500 plus. So, what is your character creation process? Do these come from fucking around? Are some of them like characters you've wanted to see, or like this would be kind of cool, or do you have like a process you go through? Can you tell us a bit more about like 1,500 is a massive amount, so
Yeah, I didn't. Yeah, I didn't realize how many I actually had because pretty much since I started making them, I was like, if people ask me like, oh yeah, how many characters you made? I'm like, oh, I think it's about 300, 400, and I've been saying that for about 3 or 4 months. As I kept making more, I'm like, I lost track. But yeah, my process is mainly just stuff that I find kind of like interesting, and like I've also made like I spent a lot of my time like doing Dungeons and Dragons character creation related stuff. So like in that 1,500 characters, I probably have maybe about 200 to 300 that are all like different like NPCs that I've made at different points. I think about 4 of them the NPCs I've made for current characters I've had previously. Yeah, so a lot of it is just like this will be interesting. So I make it. And then today I added I think about 4 or 5 more because someone's like, oh, build me this character for me because I'm too lazy to do it. I'm like, okay, sure. And so I built the character that they gave me is like says one person said like, oh yeah, so they're a drow rogue who's strength based. And I'm like, okay, cool. So I did that, built the character. It was great. Yeah, I've made a lot of weird characters. Like, I think I've probably made maybe 10 to 20 different Goliath rogues.
Wow, cool.
Yeah, I've made quite a lot of interesting characters. One character I want to eventually use in a campaign, but I haven't decided when. He's an Azamar who is, well, one parent was an Azamar, the other one was a Arakocra, so he's part bird. He's part bird, and he went on an entire adventure of he was forced out of home. He met a Kenku artificer and I can't remember what the other one was. And the other one was a cleric, and they were like, oh yeah, this. And then it ends up being he loses his memories because the cleric cast modify memory.
Wow, so you've got some quite depth backstory.
Yeah, very in depth.
Yeah, no, it's awesome. It's awesome to see. I've also seen a lot of people on Instagram doing mood boards at the moment of like building out what the character's gonna look like, sound like, feel like. So, will you be the other ones played a fair bit? Are you guys voice people, more into backstories? Do you try and do a new voice for each character? Do you take on a persona or a swagger when you do, different characters, or do you just play more into the backstory?
I would say with me, with every new character I create, I try to give them different personality and backstory. And like I haven't done so much as to do role play, but if I were to really get into it, I would try to give each character their own distinct voices if possible. But being a one-shot, I haven't really gone that deep into the backstory of my characters, so.
Yeah, I didn't think we would with Death House either, but I got myself with KO Bam Bam, my kobold. Yep, kobold. What was he again? It's my kobold rogue. I ended up doing this voice that was a combination of like Kevin Hart, Chris Rock, the little like mini annoying Transformers from that movie, mixed with this super arrogant, fast-talking rapper kind of thing. And it was just, I've never had to speak so fast in my whole life. And you can catch it on our, videos on demand, but kind of became a little bit borderline inappropriate. But that's all right. We got through at the end. But see, I'm a big voice person, so they killed me off. I came back as a gnome with no teeth. spent the whole game talking like this. Now I am a rogue still, but I the the personality of Dick Van Dyke from Mary Poppins. So I'm very polished and do this, but as I try and kill you. So, and I just love doing the voices, but they're so bad to the fact that I'm sure half the party tries to kill me mid-game just to keep me quiet. So, it's interesting to see where people bring, things from. And I'm watching in the chat people talking about death metal barbs and, barbarian goblins. And I know we've had a half-orc, random things going on before with half-orcs, we can just make up to be hilariously fun. So let's have a bit of a squeeze and see where everybody is up to. So most of you, Sam, so you've almost finished yours. Paul, with you too. Twinkle Highleaf, love the name. See, love a good name like that. Cracker. So let me know once you're happy with your characters, guys, and you've created them. You happy to go on, and we'll start getting a bit of gameplay happening. Sam and Paul are pretty good.
This is going to sound like a stupid question.
No stupid questions in this. I've probably
It
asked.
probably is. I keep rolling the dice. Where does the result come up?
Okay, so no stupid question. When you roll it,
Yep.
rolls up in that little top left. There's a little chat icon. Looks like two speech bubbles, one laid over the top of each other.
Where are we?
And so on your screen, right hand side, with the character up at the very top.
Yep.
There's a little two speech bubbles laid on top of each other.
Must be in the same one. Where am I? Ah, yes, yep.
Click on that, and your rolls will appear there. So
Okay.
roll a d10, and you'll see it.
Alrighty. Oh dear.
So this is the. That's all right. Look, it's only we will go through this properly, and we can work with you guys. And we're just having a bit of fun here. This is not a serious character that you need to hang on to. So what we'll try and do, if you guys are keen to play a bit of a one shot next Monday, we will work during the week. If you need help to build your character, you can actually get in and have a drive. Get Contagious probably a DM that session for us, who was just on podcast recently there. So he is the one that runs our Death House campaign. He's incredibly fun, as is our DM at Doom, but also they both love to kill you. So it's a little bit of fun, and it's like I do in Death House. I'm sorry, Arena. Try and kill party there. So once everybody happy to kick on and we'll get into a bit of gameplay, just let me know and we will jump in and get started. So it looks initially good. Sam, I think you're pretty good. Paul, you're good. Aaron, are you good if we jump in, or do you want to keep?
No, you can keep going. I'll...
Sorry,
that's fine. No,
we can
cool.
wait for you.
That's cool.
We can always, if you're not ready, just let us know because we don't want to rush you.
Yep.
So
I'm thinking. I actually want to see whether this will work. I want to get Twitch chat to pick something for me for my character.
okay. Would you like the Twitch followers to pick?
I would like them to pick what two-handed weapon they use.
Okay, all those watching along. What two-handed weapon should, and what was the character name this time? Have you changed it, or what's your...
Hang on. Let me just get it up. Okay. His name is Chubb.
Chubb.
Yes, that's the name.
What should Chubb use? Let's see what they come. I reckon Super Dan's probably going to come back with something incredibly stupid, but that's okay, because that's what he does.
I mean, nothing is stupid in terms of a two-handed weapon.
No, it is not. Ooh, he's gone a great sword. Is what we have for Super.
Anyway, that's a good one.
Great.
As I said, there's no stupid answers for a two-handed weapon. Then I realized Never mind. I hope they don't say Lance.
I was going to say you threw it out there. Like, I think there are some stupid ones, but you know.
I think the main one that's the main bad two-handed weapon is probably the main one that I didn't want was a. But yeah, greatsword works.
Yeah, greatsword. Leia and Super Dan both said greatsword. Raging Roll, of course, one of our team. You said Lance in the chat, so they've instantly thrown it in. Say Lance, but I think greatsword has your biggest amount of votes. All right, so I'll let Darren. Looks like he's almost finishing up there, and then, all right, mate, don't let me rush you.
All right.
It's a lot harder to do over the internet. This is a much easier process to character build when you're doing it in person. And then on your 1327 character, it's pretty easy to build them online. Just ask Sam knows about this sort of stuff. So
Yeah, I don't even use D&D Beyond because I'm just like I use another source. It's like you know what? This place gives me free access to unlimited characters until I overload their website, which I've done at least once.
nice. So
They weren't happy with me. They weren't particularly happy with me.
and that's
And
what
I just want to do that.
that's what I do love about this community and the internet is that there's just so much information that you can find out, and people have written some incredible amount of lore and stuff for you to read through and find that specific character. Like, you know, if you want to play Gerald from Witcher, you can be him. There's a whole character sheet built for him. You can be the Witcher character and go in and play it. You can play, want to be Judge Dredd in 5e. Someone's built that. So don't work it away. If you want to find it, Google it. It is a way to do it. You know, if you want to be the main character from The Princess Bride, someone has found a way to make that for you. So I can see here, there's a whole lot of stuff going on. All right.
How about a Mr. Bean character?
You want a Mr. Bean in 5e. I feel like Sam is going to take that challenge on before next week, build you Mr. Bean in 5e.
I'll take note of that. All right.
I love it. All right, what you should probably see now is the whole screen, just your whole screen went black. Oh, no, didn't move. Everyone else, screen changed to a different boat, or you still got the same boat?
No, it changed for me.
Yep, different boat.
Different boat.
Fantastic. This is the beauty of technology, that sometimes things don't always change as they should. So just try and make sure that everybody can see. 1 minute. Sorry, I did the number one fail and didn't turn on the power to my computer. That was a bit of fun then. Trying to work out why I'm getting all these error messages. All right, so what you normally do here in Roll20, and you can do, is you can actually add your own tokens. So if you have a look, and we won't do it here because this takes a bit of time to find what your character looks like, but when you click on your name, you'll have your character mancer, which you've gone through and created your character sheet. That's fantastic. The first tab has bio and info. So if you hit edit there, Anish has done this already, you can change the name of it. So you can call them whatever you want to call them. You have, on your left, you can upload an art file. So it could be what you want the character to look like. It could be something you've got in your head, something you found in Google, whatever it is. And then just under it, you've got use selected token. So a token is what you will click and drag onto the screen. It's so we know where you're placed. So when you're playing, it's basically like your little model in real life. You'll see a lot of the enemies we have the same thing, but it's just a way, of seeing where you are, how you're moving around the space, and we sort of go from there once we've got it moving. but it's a little bit of, playing around with getting them to drop on. But it's always fun and games when it comes to Roll20. There are some things that work, some things that don't. I would not be, too worried if it doesn't always work the way you want it. Find out, other ways to do it. So, without me continuously talking about things like this, what I will get you to do is, once you're ready to go, is click your name on the right side. Click and drag your name onto the bottom of the screen. You'll see a purple icon that I've just put on there. No, you won't, because I put on the wrong thing. You should see a purple icon down the bottom of the screen now. It should have appeared there.
Oh, yeah.
Bottom right. You can't. Yep. I can see you guys putting yours down there. Great. So if you can land them on the boat, that will help us, because then, we don't want to be swimming in the ocean, so we'll all start down here. What I have done is that obviously being with them purple, they're all going to be a little bit hard to work out who's who. If you have an image that you want to find as we're talking along and upload it, please feel free to do that. But at the moment, I can see where all of you are. So, who's the one out to the left here? This one that I've just moved. This one here. This one there.
It's not me.
I'm the left one. This one?
Yeah, that one there. Yeah, that one. That was just moving.
Yeah, it's me.
Cool, I'm going to just for the...
Yeah, that was me. Yeah.
Okay, just for argument's sake, is this lovely character here.
That's me.
Beautiful.
Chiron,
so, Chiron's blue. And I'm missing one character. Who wasn't able to put their character on the screen yet?
I think that might.
It's you, Paul?
Yes. So you just drag and drop, is it, or?
Yeah, click and drag your name from the right-hand side. So click on it twice and drag it over and drop it onto the screen. There you go. This, I reckon, is the easiest thing to tell people how to do, and it never works. You click and drag like 3 or 4 times. So what normally happens in a game situation is you'll appear on different maps and you'll walk through different scenarios like we did. You'll be walking through a forest, you come across a boat, and like we did before, you'll be asked to do things and roll for it. When you roll, obviously you refer to your character sheet. So, but if it's looking for perception, you open up your character sheet, you roll down, look for perception, you click it, and yes, I've got access to your character sheet, so I can press and roll things, but you'll see, right, I've got an 18. So I'll be very perceptive, I can see what's going on in the boat, and so on, and so forth. So the way, and probably one of the most confusing things is not the role-playing part, working out what you want to do in that, but is combat. A lot of this comes down to talking about actions, bonus actions, a whole lot of stuff. So what I want to just be clear on is we're going to go through sort of the basics of it. There are races that you can burn, classes that you can earn grit points, you can use sorcery points, action surges, all this sort of stuff. It gives you extra abilities, extra actions. But this moment we're just going to play them as standard characters just to get the idea of the game mechanics behind it. So does everyone know what an action is in terms of D&D?
Oh, yes. So an action's mainly like to do an attack or a spell. Usually would just take just kind of like 1 round to do something, I believe.
Yeah, that's correct. So an action is, if you want to hit someone with your greatsword, if you want to shoot fireball at them. It's also if you want to disengage, you want to feed someone a potion, anything that would take in combat, a bit of time. So D&D treats each person's go in combat as a 6-second fight. So you've got to imagine this is not something that's drawn out. You know, a combat session might take in real life time 20-30 minutes, but it probably takes about 15 to 20 seconds in D&D time, maybe a bit longer, but the idea is that these are meant to be quick bite-sized chunks. Some classes have what's called a bonus action, so that is something of lesser ability that they can do because they're specialized. So, you know, some of the spellcasters can cast what's called a cantrip, so something they know instantly, but it just depends on what your abilities are and how well, you know, you can do it. And then again, what level you are. So not necessarily for us in level 1, but those on the higher up levels, it's sort of one of these, you know, things that you can go through and start to play with. So what we'll do now, you guys have climbed aboard the boat, climbed up, you've made it onto the top deck. As you took the time to climb up, you've noticed this ship has pushed through the forest land. You're now drifting out to sea. No idea how you got there. You know you're drifting. So what I'll get you to do now, what we'll do now is we'll play this in real life situation, but this is going to go a lot slower than what it normally is, and I'm going to make sure that we go through everything and why we've done it so everyone understands. It will be a little bit slower, I'm going to apologize, but over the next, you know, 50 minutes or so, we'll just get through it. We'll do a bit of combat. We'll work a few things out and see what happens, you know, play a bit of into it, get a bit of role play going, but just so you can understand the mechanics of how this part of the game works, because this is quite an important part of D&D, and it's a really, you know, fun bit too, because I quite enjoy the combat part of it, as most people do, because there's nothing like being able to smash into things and have a big, you know, fun and, you know, play around with it. So as you've climbed in, you notice you're going out to sea. You guys land on the top deck, strategically crouched yourselves down. You can see the full length of this boat. It is a massive ship. So as you step onto it, the floor is now yours. What would you like to do as a party?
I would probably start searching maybe lower deck to see if I can find any like clues, see if there's anyone on the ship besides us.
Yeah, okay, so you want to go down one level and see what's underneath?
Oh yes.
Cool. So can you make an investigation check for me? So what you do then, if you've not done this before, in your character sheet, you'll see on the left-hand side, you've got all your stat block, then you've got saving throws, and then under that, you've got things that you're proficient in. So you're looking for investigation, which your character is proficient in. So if you just click on investigation, it will roll up your roll. $12. So what it's done here in Roll20, just so you guys are aware before we kick on, sometimes Roll20 takes it as rolling with advantage. So what it's done there is we normally just take the first one. If you went downstairs with somebody else, DM will normally say to you, instead of both you rolling, we'll just roll with advantage because there's two of you investigating, so you got a higher stat. But just so you're aware, it's always that first number we tend to take, but just as a little bit of a tidbit as to why it's rolling too. So you've rolled to 12.
Okay.
You look down and notice that there used to be people here. There were people around not that long ago. There's overturned pots. There's unfinished meals. But there's no sign of life down there. It's all quiet below. The ship seems to be moving not by powered by anybody, but by something. So you don't notice if there's any human life or any sort of magical life down there. It seems incredibly eerie to you.
Okay. So just on the bottom of the ship, is there like boxes, or does it look like a bit like a storage area down the bow of the ship, or
Looks like it looks like it would be transporting loads. It's just cot after cot. Like it was a army sort of transport ship. Like you know that at one point there were hundreds of members on this ship. It was a way to get a lot of people from A to B for whether it was some sort of attack form, but you notice this was almost like a giant people carrying ship.
Okay. So I'll probably go back up to the top and I would relay the information to my party and just say that it appears that someone was on the ship, but but they seem to mysteriously vanish, which is very strange, and I don't sense any magical force behind it.
What about the rest of you? Nish, what are you going to do?
I basically find a crate to stand on and just yell out, "Anyone on board?" as loud as I can. Can I do a insight? Oops, I lost my character sheet. Like an insight check to see if I can sense anything, since I am an elf, sort of attuned to magic or arcana, sort of.
Yeah, so I will let you either do a perception or an arcana check. Insight is more based around whether someone's telling the truth or not. But I'll let you do a perception or arcana, whichever one you're higher in. I'll let you choose.
Perception, but how do I roll perception though? Do I just click on it?
Just click on the word perception. When you hover over the word, it should highlight red.
Yep. I got a 10 and a 12.
Yeah, so we will take the lower one for this, the first one, which is a 10. So you, having seen, you know that something is not right with this, but you can't put your finger on what sort of magic it is. You know this is not being powered by any sort of foreign enemy, but this is being powered by a magical force. But that's all you're able to perceive.
I'm just going to probably investigate the deck. Just move forward up along the deck. Just checking to make sure there's nothing just hiding behind any of the crates.
All right, you want to move your character how far you wish to go?
Sure.
You just go your icon, move it up where you want to be, how far you want to.
Just there.
There you go. So one trick that I will show you guys on that left-hand side, we've got the downs, you've got a little arrow. There's one that looks like a circle with a tape measure coming out the top, like about the 1 o'clock mark of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so someone found it. If you click on that, this gives you a tape measure that you can see. So if your character's on your character sheet,
okay,
it'll say, I mean, at the moment, it's okay because that speed movement of 35 feet, 25 feet normally applies to combat. So at the moment we're not in combat, so you can walk freely. You don't have to be too stringent. If we were fighting, you only had 20 feet movement, then you can only move in there. And it also helps you with understanding, if you're a ranged attacker, that your bow is 60 feet. You can also measure it. The nice thing is you can either, when you hover it over it, you can either show to others or you can hide from others. So
okay.
if you want to hide it and you're sitting there as a party, you're taking on this one shot and you have this incredibly great idea to shoot a fireball into the mix and you want to work out which of your other parties you're going to kill or basically wipe out, you can do it all without anyone seeing what you're trying to do, and you can sort of sit there and brain map it in your head first. So it's just a great little tool to sort of work out distances on a map, and it helps you think about, okay, if I want to run there, I want to do this. But it gives you something a bit special. So as you move top deck, your giant spider clinking as your metal, as your plate armor. Boxes out of the way, one hand on your weapon, almost feeling like you're in command of this ship. You start to hear a ominous chant that you may have heard before, which is one must die, one must die. And within an instant, out of nowhere, suddenly appearing are these Jurigar. You're climbing out of boxes, out of holes. Axes on their back. You look small. You're unsure. They're getting ready, chanting, "One must die." So, what would you guys like to do? Do you want to fight these guys, or do you want to just bail over the edge of the ship and swim for sure? Because I know there's a half orc that can't swim, so.
Yeah, that wouldn't be good.
I'm definitely going to move forward. I'm definitely going to move forward just because I'm like, I want to fight these guys.
Yeah, cool. The rest of you are all in the thought you're going to get into a battle here.
Yeah, I'll probably join in, but I'll be hanging at the back for a little bit. Yeah, and just fire from a distance.
Yeah, cool. Okay, so this in a battle situation is what they say. You've probably heard on Critical Role, and all those. Right, let's roll for initiative. So, yeah, but with Roll20, there's a bit of a. Oh, let's see if you. So what you do in Roll20 to get your initiative roll, it's a bit of a trick.
Mm-hmm.
Click on your character, so your icon is. Just click on it, you'll see it highlights and 5 little circles should come up over it. Then you go and you click on the character sheet and then press initiative there and roll for initiative then. What that does is that adds it to our turn order. So, oops. If I change characters. So as you can see, I've done it 4 times and you should see my 4 Jurigar appear in their character sheet.
I had rolled a 12. I'm not sure if it's.
Okay, so what's your character name? Oh, you're Twinkle, aren't you? So did you click on yourself? on the screen first?
You probably didn't, because I did that the first time. I clicked. I didn't click, and then I rolled. I'm like, that's right, I have to.
Yeah, that's the biggest. So
Done it so many
you
times.
click on your icon, and I can always change it back to. Waste great. Oh, we got a 3. It's not great for your initiative. So Darren and Nish, how are you guys going with initiative rolling?
Yep.
So click on your icon, then hit initiative. Almost Nish, you've got it. You just need to click on which one was your icon? Aaron, sorry. So Nish, which was your icon?
Mine was the one with the small guy in the sphere, sort of.
Oh, yep, so click on him first. Click on him first until you see, yep. So click on him. You should see 5 little dots appear, 3 up the top and 2 sort of under it.
No, nothing happens when I click on him. Oh, sorry.
That's because you're still on the tape measure, the old tape measure trick.
Yep, I got it. So 2 bars,
Now roll
3
initiative.
at the bottom. Sorry, 3 bars.
Now click your initiative. Now roll for initiative.
Okay, now I roll for initiative. Hang on.
I'll pay your 12 year rolled higher if this rolls lower. Oof, he's rolled a 17. You can have that because I'm not going to, be that mean to you today. Next week, tell you what, I'm coming for you. Well, thankfully, I'm not, in charge. So what you get is what we call pop up, and normally the DM runs this, is a turn tracker. So what we like to do is make sure you can see who's up, who's second, where you're placed. So let's start with Twinkle Highleaf. So you are the first of our battle warriors to go. What are you going to do?
I think I can move up to 30 feet. Was it?
Yes, that's correct.
So I move. Where am I? Sort of up to here, on deck. Oh,
That's fine.
somewhere around here. Yep. And where's my spells?
On the second page, yeah, you found them. Go back one.
On Bardic. Can I do Bardic Inspiration on one of them?
So Biotic Inspiration is on your own teammate. So
Yes.
what that means is, yep, you can pick one of your teammates. You give them, you can Biotic Inspiration on one of your teammates.
Yes, the first person who'll probably get hit the first, the person with the blue dot.
Right. So you now have
Yep.
character or 1d6. Yes, Darren are on the 1d6. So what that means for when you get Bardic Inspiration, what that means is if you roll something and you are like a hit dice and you're trying to hit an enemy and you come up just short and you just get less than their armor class or do something, you can roll this 1d6 as an inspiration to help you add a few extra points to sort of knock you just over the edge. That's like a little bonus roll that Anish has given you.
So just a question: is Bardic Inspiration one action? Is it like a bonus action?
It's a bonus action.
It's a bonus action, yeah.
All right, cool. So I can do
Yep,
one
so
other thing.
So you can do one of your spells, or if you've got a weapon that is in long or rough range, you can do that as well. Okay, so you're going to try with Hideous Laughter. Nish, on mute.
Yeah. Hideous Laughter on the first Durga I can see, which is this guy.
Let's go
Yep.
here, yeah. So a few things about this, like when you're casting spells, and we'll get to it, you'll be able to use this, but just a few things to look at. This is what's called a concentration spell. So with concentration spells, you can only do one of these at a time because you obviously have to, as the name says, concentrate on it. Make sure that it's a bit of a focus to get this spell going. The other thing that can stop your concentration is you actually being hit by an enemy. So, for example, if one of these Duragar happens to hit you, you then have to roll a Constitution save to make sure that you can actually hold up. If it's higher than your spell DC, there you go. You're happy. If it's lower, so for example, your spell DC is 12. If you rolled a 11 or below, you lose it and you drop that spell. Otherwise, you can keep it going. So, the other thing to remember when you're rolling for an armor class, if you roll or someone rolls a number that meets it, we say meets it, beats it. So if your armor class is 18 and, as a DM, I'm trying to attack you with an enemy and I roll an 18, that's going to hit you. So always take that meets it, beats it rule. And same with DC. If you've got to get 12 and you roll a 12, you've made it. You've survived. So, Hideous Laughter. It's a creature of your choice. You can see within range. Perfect. You can see everything incredibly funny and falls into fits of laughter if this spell affects it. The target must succeed on a wisdom saving throw or fall prone, becoming incapacitated and unable to stand up. Creature with intelligence of less than 4 isn't affected, which I don't know if I have, so bear with me because I've got about 7 character sheets going. Intelligence is way higher than 4. So what I have to do here with this wisdom throw is you'll see on your character sheets, you've got on that left-hand side, you got your inspiration, your proficiency bonus, and then you got your saving throws. So I have to make one for this Duragar here, and when I do it, if I don't beat Anish's or Twinkle's 12 DC, then my character will be, let's have a look. Oh, that is a massive fail. 11, so he had a 12. So what this has happened, this character is now fallen out and is laughing hilariously on the ground. So just cackling away. You've managed to cripple me into the thing, which is fantastic. It's a great use of that skill. Now, what this means is I've fallen, and you can see the last part of this, is a creature with intelligence. The target must succeed on wisdom saving throw. You did not, but it now falls prone. So when your character falls prone, and this is going to be a lot of this trying to work it out. When you fall prone, it means you've fallen basically on the ground, and you're not really able to do anything. It's like being winded, you're knocked down on your back. It does take a fair bit of movement to get up. A lot of people say half your movement up when you're prone and continue on. But I'm unable to stand up now for a whole minute, which is 10 turns in D&D. So by the time we get through 10 rounds of this, a fair amount of time. So this character is just pretty much good and out of it. So well done, Anish. That was great use of that skill. So do you want to do any, can't really do anything else. So you want to, sign off with anything? You've just put him into a fit of laughter. Any sort of RP you want to roll out before we move on?
Sorry, what was that? Can I do something else? Or
You've used your action and bonus action, your movement, but you can always sign off with some witty little banter or do something that's in the vein of what you've just done if you wish to.
Sorry, man, I just can't think of anything now. I'm good.
No worries, mate. And it's all good. You'll get this, and this comes. If you watch a lot of stuff that we've done, those first couple of episodes are a little bit slow, but then we start to get more and more and more and more and more into it. So it's it becomes fun. All right. So this Jurigar is going to, gentleman at the back, is going to throw an attack into the mix, and let's see what we've got. Oh, fantastic. So I am going to use a Javelin as a ranged weapon, and I'm going to throw it at. Let's throw it at. Let's throw it at Chubbs because I can see Chubbs across the way. So I'm going to throw it at Chubbs. So that's an 11. Does it meet or beat your armor class?
It does not.
It does not. I didn't think it would, but I'd throw it out there. So it throws this javelin. Whoosh! Being small in stature, it just missed you well off the side of the boat. It is your turn to retaliate.
So I've heard them say one must die. Right?
Yep.
Okay, cool. I'm going to yell back at them, "You're wrong, 4 must die, and I would like to rage."
Ooh, fantastic. So for those that don't know what we're doing right now, rage is a wicked barbarian stat that they get, which means basically become psychotic. They get fired up. They see the red and the rage effectively of what they're doing. What it does give them is bludgeoning, piercing, slashing damage is halved. So any damage that they take, you just halve it. How that normally works, so if you get something like a 9 points of damage and you halve it, 4.5, they always round up to being you taking 5 points of damage. So this is going to be a lot of this sort of stuff, and I apologize, it's a lot of information as it goes through, but when you start to play it and you watch the pros, as they call it, critical role guys, they still don't get it half the time, especially when it comes to critical. So you are raging. What would you like to do, Bob?
This guy's prone, right? Right, this guy's prone?
So one of the good... Yeah, so what I can see Sam's about to do, and I can read his mind, is prone characters, if they're lying on the ground, You just walk up and club them, get advantage on. But if you're at the back trying to shoot him with an arrow, you get disadvantage because they're lying on the ground. What it also means is he's going to get an automatic critical hit because basically I'm lying sprawled out on the ground and he's just going to kill me with an instant blow. Is that right? You going for the auto crit?
Yeah. Of course I have to.
Of course. All right, so don't worry about your roll because you've already. Oh no, it doesn't. Unless you've got to hit me first, don't you? So 7 does not hit. So you miss. As on the ground, you throw your sword, ching, as you misgauge one of the barrels. And I'm lying there, unable to be hit by you.
Yeah.
Have you got anything else to do, or?
No, I don't. Yeah.
Right, so this,
Because I don't have this advantage and disadvantage out. Because I'm assuming we're in direct sunlight.
yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, so I have disadvantage on my attacks.
Yep. All right, so this Jiragar is going to move in here. And just because, you know, it's a bit of fun, we are going to hit you actually first. We are going to enlarge. So the beauty of Jiragar is that they get to enlarge, but Sam's character is, as these characters are, they do get disadvantage on attack rolls because they're in direct sunlight. So
Can they enlarge in sunlight?
doesn't say they can't.
Because I'm looking at it and it says you can't cast them while you're
Mine says here, while in sunlight, you guys disadvantage on attack rolls as well as specific checks that rely on sight. And then my enlarge says doesn't have anything about it being sunlight.
Okay,
But to be honest with this,
just checking.
I'm not going to hit you anyway, so I'm more than happy to not. Okay. That's all good. And last Jiragar is going to, let's see, let's do a Javelin Attack. And I'm going to say 11 doesn't hit either.
It does not hit.
All right, Chiron, welcome to the battle. So done.
Okay, look. What we'll do is, of course, I'm going to attack. So we'll move. Get off that.
Yeah, don't worry. You'll do this. You'll do that 1,000 more times.
And we'll
When you
move in
start,
to
You do it
engage.
every game.
To engage that one there.
Yep, perfect. All right. So what are you gonna do with?
Attack with the great sword. Yeah.
Oh yeah, nice. Let me see what you got. Come on, smash it into me.
So what do I?
So you roll on your character sheet, and I'll just put it
Yep.
up so you're on. Let me see what you got. Come on, smash it into me.
So what do I?
So you roll on your character sheet, and I'll just put it
Yep.
up so you're on. Hang on, bear with me 1 second. There should be a greatsword tab.
Yep, it's there. Yep.
So just click on it. There'll be well, you better click on the greatsword.
Yep.
Ooh, but I'll give you advantage because you know they're in. Who's attacking the other bloke, so you can roll it. You'll take the 16. So, unfortunately, you did roll in that one on the first one, but with advantage, it's fine. So 16 to hit my armor class, which it will do. So what you do now in roll 20 is you just click on the word sword, where you can see it there.
The word what? Sorry.
Great sword in the little chat area. You can see we got the 5 and the 16.
Okay.
You can see where your 2 rolls have popped up on the screen.
Yep.
You just click the word under it that says greatsword. That'll then roll the attack dice for you.
Okay. Sure.
It's a strange thing. You'll get used to it. It seems really weird at the moment.
Yeah.
Sweet. So you swing with your sword, great sword, as you take a huge chunk out of this Duragar. You watch bits of flesh just slap across your party member as Chubbs is just being covered in gunk. You blade through with your greatsword. Now, do you have the ability to do anything else, or is that the end of your turn?
No, I think that's the end.
Okay, so Weiss, you are up.
Okay. So I think I'm gonna move my character up a bit. He has, I believe, 30 feet of speed, so I'm just gonna move him probably just behind the bard, I believe.
Yeah.
And then what I'm going to do is I'm gonna cast Magic Missile, and I'm just gonna direct that to just to try to maybe just weaken it. Maybe get this guy here since he's kind of in line of sight. Yep.
Go for it. It's not quite anything to hit. It's just an instant damage, I believe. Do I get to make a saving throw at all to get out of your way?
I don't believe so. I think Magic Missile's one of those ones where you can just roll for damage. It's one of those exceptional spells.
No.
One of my favorite.
Yeah, that and Shatter. Shatter's another fantastic one when you get to spellcasting. That's a really good one.
Oh, that one's good too.
Yeah, so this missile straight into the body. Bang again, more flesh is just blowing off the body. Anything else you want to do? You want to keep shredding me or, picking on me?
One magic missile? Or was that 3?
I believe it does shoot out 3, but then I assume on Roll20 they must just like combine the whole 3, because I believe you roll 3 dice.
That
Yeah.
only did it once.
Oh, I did it once. Okay, sorry. I'll go and roll 2 more times then.
Yep, so it only rolls it every time you click on it. So you've rolled once, 2, 5 force damage, 9 total damage. Take one more, right?
Yep.
Just one more.
Oh,
Okay, cool.
Look at that. Huge 13 points of damage. So, how do you want to kill this Duragar?
Nice. So I imagine it would just be like one shot like at his face to stun him, and then as he's like stepping back, then you just have 2 shots that come direct in his chest, and he's just like falls down, collapse, and just like smoke.
You guys are standing there fighting. He's just laid out, completely cold, just obliterated, and he disappears.
Nice. And that'll just end my turn, by the way.
Great. So what we might do is go through our turns again once more, see where we get to, because I'm just looking at the time. What I also want to make sure is you guys got time to ask questions, and if there's anything that hasn't made sense so far. So, I mean, hopefully it all has. It's been pretty straightforward, and this is the basics of what you guys need to know. Like we're doing at the moment is pretty much how it works. Like obviously the higher levels you get, the more complex it gets, the more stuff you can do. When you got bonus actions and burning points, and your brain starts to melt a little bit. So, what if everyone's cool? We'll just burn through it once more, and then make sure if you've got any questions, now's the time to throw them on the table, and let me know what you want to do from there. So Twinkle, mate, show us what you've got. This is the time. This is the time to shine. You've got Twitch followers following along. Everyone's watching.
Quick question. I don't have. I have a spell charmed, but is there any way for me to persuade the Duragar to jump overboard?
So with charmed spell, I believe that you. Let me have a look at it before I start making charm person. You can see the range must make a wisdom saving throw. That's right. Charm spell ends. You can use anything. It is charmed by you until the spell ends. Charm creature regarded as friendly acquaintance. You can't. It's meant to be friend, so it thinks it's a friend of you, so it doesn't think you're an enemy. It becomes your friend, so you can use it to protect you. A fight against its own Jiragar. You can't tell it to leap off the edge of the boat and take its own life. So you can say you protect me.
I have got persuasion, but I wouldn't be able to use persuasion in a fight, would I? Like persuade a Jiragar not to fight?
You, by all means, if you want to do that as part of your character and persuade the Jiragar to turn, you're able to roll high. By all means, you can roll it out and give it a go if you want to do it.
Actually, I'm going to roll.
That's what I was trying to instill before. Just go with what you want. Always a roll for it, and we'll find a way to make it happen.
So I've got high performance and high persuasion, so I'm going to try and persuade him or lull him into jumping overboard. Let's see if that works. So
your head's out. It's kind of weird, but I love it.
So I'm going to move.
So you are.
Sorry.
Hang on. Before you roll, Howie, I want to hear what you're going to say. What is your persuasion? What is this performance piece you're going to do that is making my Jiragar 180?
All right. So I'll probably move. Up to here. How do I move? I'll move. Let's say over here, somewhere. So since I am, what's my dexterity? I am a bit dexterous, so I stand on the railings. I take out my loot. Hopefully, I have a loot. And I start singing. Let's see. How do I sing? All right. Oh, mighty warrior, why are you so angry? Trust me. If you jump overboard, you'll find your weight in gold.
All right. Roll me a performance check.
Okay. So remind me, how do I do that? Do I just click on performance?
Yeah, on your character sheet, when you put your cursor on performance, it should go red. You just click on it. Because I will tell you what, for a 16, that's a pretty big roll. So you stand up on the railings. You sing this glorious riches. This Jiragar looking at, do I choose battle? Do I choose gold? The grace of the eagle. Falling down. His impending doom. Completely gone. You are mildly impressed by how your voice is your incredible superpower.
Cool.
You want else, or is at the end of your turn? All right, so this Jiragar just going to stand here and wait there. Very confused because you've just told one of their buddies to. So, Chubbs, it will be your turn.
I'm going to quickly glance over at is it Twinkle? Just did that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm going to quickly glance over at Twinkle and say, I'm impressed. You managed to get him to get up off the ground and jump overboard. Oh well, I'm going to run forward and I'm going to attack. This guy here.
All right, smash into him. So you hit with this longsword. You missed the first time. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, that is green, which means he hit with a natural 20, and thank goodness I thought we were going to not get one in this whole session. So what that means at the start, and nat 20 is like you have everything is lined up. It is the home run, is that glory moment. So Go ahead, Chubbs. Hit the greatsword word and let's see how much damage you're going to inflict on me. Wow. So he gets 2 for raging, 16, 18. And without even thinking, you just come straight through with like real powered inspiration. Your rage is flaring and just throw your greatsword towards him. And how do you want to kill it?
Remove his head.
So you come running through, just such grace, just and you watch as this Durgar head flies, falls almost into the same spot where the guy dived off of, as the Durgar body just wobbles and flomps, lying there like a beautifully graceful slash you've placed. Right, last person's turn. Last Chiron, sorry, I keep saying that wrong. You're up.
Okie doke. We're just going to do a running attack, as you would say in hieroglyphics. So we'll just move from here up to this end of this boat there.
Yep.
And we'll just attack with the greatsword.
Let's go. Let's see. He applied a nat 20. Oh, 13. That hits. That lands.
Okay. Slashing away.
10 points of slashing damage. That is a huge roll. Nice 2 double 4s there. So you slash your blade through, almost shoulder through to this Duragard starts opening up, spinning around. You can see blood pouring from it. It's not quite dead, but it is on very, very last legs. It's what we call almost ready to go and fall down. Is there anything else you want to do?
No, I'll just leave it at that. Let the last person clean up.
Twice. And can you kill it from?
Yep. So I'm just gonna move my character up a bit. Let me just. I'll just go the full 30 feet of it. Yep, and I think I'll go with the good old magic missile. I think we'll just finish it off with that.
I think so too. Yeah. Bang! It hits the body. You start to see an arm hit the ground, but this Duragar with guts keeps moving. Chiron.
Okay.
Come on.
Alright, so just 2 more.
Yep. Do that, savage. 1 more.
And last one. Not bad.
Not bad at all. But as this one-armed Duragar just plows towards Chiron, you just hear 2 more magic missiles. Bang, bang! Slamming into the body. To this huge, bright spray of light. There is nothing around. You successfully killed the last Duragar. So with that, the boat suddenly arcs back to the right, taking you back to land as you now control the magical power around this boat. So, well done, guys. That was this little battle encounter, bit of RP, bit of everything in it. So, the last sort of minutes or so, has anybody got any questions? Was anything confusing? Did anyone want any clarity on anything? Is it all pretty straightforward? Now's your chance to fire out questions. Just let you know. The Twitch channel is also pumping along. If you've got anything you want to throw out there.
Also, Twitch chat pointed out that my first attack was Nat 1 and then I went to Nat 20.
No, Nat 1 and Nat 20, you did very well. So
yeah. It's like vengeance after the prone guy jumps overboard.
So, Dad, how did you find that being probably one of the newest, along with Initiative, to D&D, with a nice little, small halftime break from it?
Yeah, it certainly brings up memories. Of course, it was a lot different years ago. Not using the graph paper and all that sort of stuff to do maps and no, but it's interesting. It's I think it'll grow. Yeah, so yeah.
but it all made sense to you. There's nothing there that was super confusing. I was trying to keep it very
Once
level
once
at the moment.
once
Definitely-
once I've got the hang of Roll20, yeah, I'll look into that during the week and find out a bit more about that, and we'll go from there.
And like, you know, for everyone here, everyone on Twitch, Discord channel, there's the D&D chat. So throw stuff in there, ask questions. If you're unsure about something or need help with Roll20, D&D Beyond, we've got a whole team of players and other people from the community. They're all part of it, so they're more than happy to jump on, and everyone's got their tips and links and all that sort of fun stuff. So if there is anything, please don't hesitate to reach out to us. So anyone else got any questions, anything they want before we wrap up? Is everyone cool with it? You're pumped for the one shot next week?
Yeah, definitely. I'm really excited for the one shot. I have to just say though, Anish, I think you play really well as a bard. I would love to see more of that role play going into it.
Cool. Thanks, man.
Yeah, and that's it. You'll find, which we do at the Raging Rolls, is that we, just like what Paul did, we give each other inspiration dice. So if someone does some great RP like Anish did with that whole, out of their thinking, say, hey, that was, I want to give him an, inspo dice, and a lot of the time the DM will say, yeah, cool, take that. So it's probably what I find the most fun. D&D, I'm not the greatest roller for some reason. I roll terribly a lot of the time, but I love doing stupid stuff. If you watched our house last week, I lit on fire with oil because he was covered in bugs. So I covered him in oil and tried to light him on fire to get rid of the bugs. I love that different way of thinking. So it's a bit of fun. There are people who love to just bash and crash, which is also great. To enjoy that bit too. So next week's one shot, I will let you know what level we're going to do the characters, but you, by all means, use the character you used tonight. You can feel free to create a new character, and we'll go from there. So start to think about what you want to do, and we'll sort of send you out some material about, we're thinking what character level, all that sort of fun stuff, and then we'll get back on at the same time next week and we'll smash through another really great. So if no one's got any more questions, we might wrap it up then and, jump on next week and see what the DM John Tages has for us, and see if we can sort of survive his mayhem and craziness.
All right.
Do we
Thanks, guys.
character on Roll20, or can we transfer one over from D&D Beyond?
If you want to use D&D Beyond, by all means, but just make sure you got the Beyond 20 add-on. It's a little add-on for Chrome that just allows them to talk to each other. By all means, use whatever you're comfortable with. If you find character way easier in D&D Beyond, I'm not going to stop you from doing it. If you want to use the honesty method and write one out on paper and roll real dice, that too. But whatever you're going to feel comfortable with, whatever's going to let you just easily click and play. So, I would say D&D Beyond's a bit of fun. If I'm going to try and join and play, well, I'll definitely be there, but I'm trying to see if I can sneak in and play as well. I'll be playing a character out of D&D Beyond, so I'll be clicking and sharing and stuff. So, go. If you need help with those add-ons, let us know.
I'll probably be using the same character because I came up with this character the second I'm like, if I'm doing this, I need a character. I'm gonna go with this. And so this character that I used tonight for that combat, I'm been thinking about that for a while. It's this. I also can't import my other characters because the owners of the website I use struggled to get it working with Roll20.
And I'd highly suggest starting to have a bit of a think about, if you want to get the IP, what your character sounds like, looks like, if they've got swagger, if they have a certain tick, that makes them go, we've got Sue in Acquisitions Inc. Sue's a he, but sounds like a she, but is obsessed with shiny things, and loves to chase after them. Start to think of that, and if you want to create a new character, by all means, but start to put in that thought of the backstory. And if you need any help, like I said, please reach out. So Anyone else want to ask anything else? Need to say anything? Cool. So, thanks, guys. Appreciate you taking the 2 hours playing on to spend some time with us on a Monday night. To all of our Twitch followers, thank you for joining and thank you for watching. We really appreciate it. So, don't forget to tell your friends, get them to watch it, get it to follow us. We are so close. We only need 6 more people to be able to do our giveaway. So hopefully we can get that before next week's session. And also, please, if you any sort of concerns with how you're going, especially this COVID time, please reach out to Beyond Blue, or just chuck it into one of the Discord sessions and say, hey, I'd love to video chat and just talk D&D with someone, or just have a chat with someone from the D&D community. And a lot of us Raging Rolls will easily be able to drop what we're doing, jump on and say, hey, what do you want to talk about? Let's chat away, because we're all guys that like to talk, and we'll talk about D&D until we're blue in the face and come up with really dumb character options and really weird-ass backstories. So we will end the session here. I will let Jeremy, our stream master in the back end, send us to another session to raid. But other than that, we will, guys, chat during the week via Discord. And then from there, we'll just, enjoy one shot this time next week. So hope you all have an awesome week, and let's chat during it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Thanks.